Benjamin. Joe Foster is alongside. Joe's the chief instructor of the Panoz Racing School. This is the third round of the 2001 Panoz GT Pro Championship to close out the season here at Road Atlanta. 18 cars ready to start. Johan Fourie from South Africa has the pole. Rod Stroop is alongside in GTS cars. Scott Loffield and Barry Davison, the quickest of the GT cars, are next. 3 more GTS competitors. Audrey Zawadzki qualifies 8th in a GT. Mike Griffiths and Eddie Motti, Larry Hampton and Jeff Wade, and then Don Barnes and Rick Skelton, the remaining 2 GTS cars. Should be a very competitive field, Joe.
Here they come down to the green. It's definitely going to be exciting. The track has just dried out from a little rain shower, so it's going to be slippery.
Green flag is in the air, and Fourie in that 84, that's the black machine that you see on the inside of row 1, going for the lead down into the first corner. Rod Stroop alongside, several of the GT cars following me. Oh, some trouble there. One car puts a wheel off, and I believe that was Stroop's machine. Hung the left rear tire off there.
It can happen. There's a lot of sorting out there in turn 1. It's a pretty fast corner.
And very challenging, of course, as these drivers settle down into single file and head up through the S's uphill here. And that always makes it a challenge for these drivers.
The SS is obviously the signature view of Road Atlanta, and you're going to notice some different sorting out in this race as compared to the others now, Rick, primarily because the GT class cars are all on the same slick tires now as the GTS cars.
So the only difference really about 80 horsepower in motor, and if you're a capable driver, you can make some of that up.
Yeah, I think today definitely you're going to see the classes staying together a lot more than they have in the past, and also the GT class drivers learning how to adapt to the tire with a higher grip.
Scott Loffield in the 41 car, that's the white machine. He is second behind Fourie as they lead Barry Davison in the first of the GT cars. That's the car with the yellow roof there you see. And those are cars that are prepared by the Panoz organization, and the drivers basically draw for those when they come to the racetrack.
Right, all the GT class cars, they actually draw for each race. So if you've seen any of the other prior broadcasts, you might have seen the same driver in a different car.
Rod Stroop, who started second, put a wheel off. He's challenging on the inside, going for 4th spot here, and I think he'll take the position away. Getting by the 47 car, Brad Ward. So Ward gets shuffled back 1 more position, and we'll see if Stroop can do anything with Barry Davison, who I'm very impressed with again today.
Actually, that was a pretty tidy pass early in the race. It takes a while for these slicks to warm up, and Rod definitely is trying to get back up to his original starting position.
So Stroop does make the move good, but Davison continues to run 3rd in a GT car. Stroop is 4th. Here comes the 59, Gary Curtis, to the inside with a good pass at the end of the main straightaway.
Actually, a great pass by Gary right there. There's a couple of different lines you can take entering turn 1, and he stayed on one of the fast ones.
So Curtis up to 6th now in that yellow GTS car, ahead of Barr in the red 34. They run 6th and 7th. Fourie, meantime, has driven away, and here's Davison trying to hold off Stroop for 3rd spot. Put a wheel off there, raised some dust. He's really driving using all the racetrack.
Obviously, Barry's adapted to the slick tires quite well. He had a little bit of a lockup right there we saw entering turn 5, but as the track continues to dry out and the edges dry out, he's obviously pushing to the front.
Now remember, Barry Davison was the overall winner at Mossport many weeks ago. In the rain, he was able to use the lower horsepower of that GT car to his advantage in the wet weather at Mossport. Here, though, unable to hold off Stroop, who's got about 80 more ponies under the hood of that GTS.
You'll definitely notice that down the straight, but again, Barry's quite good on the brakes as well, so I think we'll see him staying up in the lead pack for the whole race.
Brad Ward rides along next in 5th spot. There's the battle bar in that red 34. Curtis in the yellow car, the 59. So they hold position down under the Porsche bridge.
How about David Barr in the red car there? This is his first Pro Series race. We're glad to have him out. He's really putting on a good show.
And this series, of course, is designed for drivers who want to get their feet wet in professional level motorsports. And Davison's certainly a good example. You were telling me, Joe, he's attended a 3-day school, a couple of advanced schools, and here he is winning overall at Mossport and leading GT today.
Yeah, actually, Barry's been quite a find for us. He came to his first school at Sebring just about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and is really progressing quite well, and has adapted to these heavy cars. These cars actually are quite a good training ground. The heavy, a lot of power, and not a lot of grip, so it teaches you good car control.
So Barr continues to dog Curtis as they fight for position. Some of the GT machinery next in the running order. As we watch Curtis, tell me a little about Gary Curtis. What's his background? He's from Minnesota.
Actually, Gary usually gets the longest haul award for towing from all the way up there, and he usually leaves snow chains on the truck sometimes. But he's a real strong competitor and very intelligent, very engineering oriented.
Gavin Rich is in the 18. Now he's a driver to watch, and then the 22, Audrey Zawadzki. They're battling for 2nd and 3rd in GT, and they're right behind Barr. Audrey, of course, has a good bit of experience, as does Gavin. Gavin was the winner at Sebring in our season opener many weeks ago.
as always, over the past couple of years, Gavin and Audrey end up being sparring partners, and they definitely have a great race going here. They're definitely leading the pack there.
Mike Griffiths is next in line in the 16. That's another one of the GT cars. And remember, the white-bodied cars with the colored roofs, they're the Panoz GT machines, lower horsepower. It's an arrive and drive situation. The GTS cars are owned by these drivers and teams. And here's Rod Strube making a move for second spot and making the pass good, getting by Scott Loftfield. And he will try to close in now on your leader, Johan Fourie. The fans enjoying it, part of Petit Lemans weekend, the Panoz GT Pro Series. We'll be back on Speed Week.